Hey guys, Luke C here with TFBTV. We're back here at NRAAM 2025. I'm at the MDT booth and we're checking out two of their latest products geared specifically towards, I guess you'd say it's mostly for competition shooters, right?
Yeah, well, I would say the timer 100%, the Crushit is definitely, for matches. Like you're running matches, you need to know how much time you have left, and that's definitely for that. The level is for everybody.
Right.
You need to have a level rifle if you're going to hit targets at long range, if you're hunting, if you're shooting targets, everything you're doing. At long range, you need to have a level.
So let's talk about the level first. So this is the second generation, the Sendit Gen2, right?
Yeah, correct.
How does this system work? Because it's technically three pieces, right?
Yeah, so on this setup right now, we have it set up with two different systems we have on here. We have our one that's a side mount. It is built like this, and it's going to come in the box with a ocular ring, so you can run fiber optic line back to your ocular and have it set up right below your eye. So very, very easy. You can kind of probably see the camera there. You're going to go back and forth, and it shows up super well. You can stay focused on downrange, and it just allows you to stay in your glass, not to look away, and stay looking at that target, looking at that wind, understanding what's going on. The other version is up here. Like I said, you can mount this on here. If you don't want to run an ocular, some people find this distracting. They can mount it onto the side or actually underneath here as well. And that allows you just to take a look with your non-dominant eye, see what your level's at, and go from there. So the way it works is you have a 3-light system. The old version was a 5-light system, and we've kind of integrated it into both. So you have your green, and then if you go a little more, it's going to go red for the first one, and then go red for the second one. So that gives you the 5-light option in a 3-light orientation. Drops the battery power that we have on this. Don't want you to go have a seizure. Battery power consumption drops substantially. We've gone to a 2032 battery on this as well from the N3 batteries.
Okay.
They're kind of a pain to find. And you have right around like 200 hours of battery life.
200 hours of battery life, okay.
Yeah, so pretty amazing battery life. You can go to what we call the traditional mode, which is green, blue, and red on the other side. So the center one's only ever green, so it's only a 3-light system. You also can go to a 1-light system as well. So only the 1 light lights up, and you only have 1 light here.
Okay.
If you can remember red, roll, right, you should be good.
Right.
So, and that's what we did with this. We're going to have other mounting options going to we call the V-mount system on this, and you can mount that at multiple different locations.
Okay.
We have other optic companies or other mount companies that are working on mounts as well. So.
Are there any limitations like on the ocular ring here, or is this like does it stretch to fit?
This is essentially like a wristband, like your rubber wristband. I've ran it all the way up to like a collis size, and my understanding that's the biggest ocular that I can find.
Yeah.
You can run on tangents, run on anything like that. The only restriction as of right now is like on an ATACer. The ocular actually rotates when you zoom in and out.
Right.
So we're working on something on that.
Okay.
To get around that.
And then let's move on to the Crushit.
The Crushinator. Yo-ho.
Crushit timer. This is based off originally from Chad Heckler's design of a timer located on your gun, very easy to use. You can look at it if you want to, and we kind of modified it from there and added different things. You can set 5 different locations for alerts on this. It allows you to go and set, like most people go set, say like a 50% alert, 30, 20, 10, and then 5 seconds down. You can set the number of beeps, the loudness of the beeps, the tone of the beeps. It's very, very, you can set it any way you want. So the great thing about that is once you get used to it, it basically becomes subconscious. You don't have to look at it at all. You can hear that beep, you hear that tone or that number of beeps, that length of beep, and it allows you to really go and focus on what's going on downrange.
Yeah.
And know how much time you have left.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, because you're a competition PRS, NRL shooter, very difficult sports, by the way, if you guys have never tried that. The shot timer is primarily good for helping you train through your course of fire, making sure you're able to get to your targets on time. But you also mentioned something neat. For regular hunters, this actually might help a little bit in certain ways because of the subconscious factor. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so the big thing for us is when we're, for me, for when I'm practicing, I can actually set this down to amount of time that I want to be taking to practice with, and knowing that I can go and set up a position to take an animal or set up for a target, and take even that time to like say I need to be able to get out range, get my gear undone, get my dope, and get on this gun, and I want to take that animal or that target or animal within a minute. And doing that training allows you to really focus on when or where your weaknesses are at, where you can make yourself faster, where you have to slow down a bit, to take a little more time. And then having that timer on there just allows you to pay attention to that type of thing.
Yeah.
And understand where you're in that, we'll call it a minute. You can go and slow it down a bit beforehand, or at like halfway point, or speed it up. This gives you a lot of ability to really see where your weaknesses are and improve on those.
Okay, so the Crushit, you said, is available now.
Yeah.
And about how much do those cost?
Those are $249.
$249, and like kind of similar to the Send IT Gen2, this one is also, it's completely programmable for, you said, different zones, the loudness of the beeps and all that.
Yeah, you can completely program it any way you want. Same with the Send It 2. I also didn't mention that you can program this for sensitivity, for brightness.
Okay, so like if you are okay with a certain amount of cant with your rifle, you can set it to be less sensitive, or?
You can definitely do that, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Right. Well, so real quick before we go, why is it important that a scope and the gun be level when the shot's let off?
So if you take shooting long range, this is long range, anything past, I'm going to say 200, 300 yards of center fire, and anything past 50 yards with a 22. If you are canted left or right, you're going to see your bullet drop down to the right or drop down to the left, and it will go left or right as well. So your bullet kind of goes like this and goes like that, or goes like that and down the other way if it's canted. If your gun is perfectly level and your scope is perfectly level, you will not have that issue.
Cool.
So that's why you need to have a level.
Yeah, all these things here seem like these are refinements for the shooter so that the shot is as accurate as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we've done videos of this on the MDT website, on the MDT page as well, to show people what that difference is. And we've done it with huge, tall scope bases. We've done it with all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So I mean, that's all cool stuff. And then the Crushit Gen 2, is it available now?
It will be available beginning of May.
Okay, and about how much is it going to cost?
It's going to be $229.
$229.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for showing us all the new stuff from MDT. And guys, stay tuned for more from NRAAM 2025 here at TFBTV and TFBTV Showtime.